Welcome back to day 19 in the year of being. Today, I'm talking about signs. Signs that we get from God, universe, Mother Nature, from within ourselves. There's often times we're waiting for a sign or asking for a sign. And I think this can be an incredibly powerful practice. People have many different versions of this and many different interpretations of this. Some examples from my own life is that as a spirit animal, birds often show up for me in different ways. I ask for a spiritual sign, I ask for something to be presented to me, to be shown to me in a way that um, is a confirmation or some sort of direction from it. And I believe that birds for me, particularly ravens, which I have a huge tattoo of a raven on my side, are messages. They're signs that are given to me when I ask for them. And so, the spirit of that animal and the connection to that being a sign is incredibly important to me. But also, sometimes we are just wondering if we're going in the right direction, or we're wondering if it's time to start something or time to end something, whether the relationship, the space, the job, the decision, the should I go to this university, should I move to this place, should I take this apartment, is this the right thing? And then we start to ask for those signs that we're hoping to get from whatever we believe in, or even just something that will open itself up to us, that'll say this is the right direction. It could even be the expectation that somebody might say that to us. And I think that sort of opening to signs from the universe can be really powerful, because it opens us up to a little nod, a little acknowledgement, something showing up unexpected, a miracle happening, a door opening that we didn't expect to open. And many times I've used this idea, and things start amping up and they start rapidly showing up and they start tapping on my shoulder. So before I started the year of being, I was given many, many signs to return my energy to my coaching business, to the mentorship, to the bringing it to life with another layer of spirituality and my truth in a way that I hadn't before. But I kept thinking, well, I don't know, is it the right time? Is it the right space to do it in? Like, how should I represent this? I've been coaching since 2021. I've had many amazing clients, but I had redirected my energy over last year and wasn't sure if redirecting it into this work full time was the right direction. And so when I opened to a sign, and I didn't even ask for one, I just was kind of like open to something that acknowledged this was the right way. I couldn't shake the feeling that this was the direction I was supposed to go in. It just kept, like, when I would think about doing something else, when I would think about taking a job, when I would think about going in a different direction or starting a different type of business, it just kept presenting that my work that I'm meant to do is through this, is through these conversations, is through how I show up for my clients, is through that. And then externally, what showed up was I kept getting these notifications on Facebook that people were looking at and liking my business page, Audrey Bartlett Coaching. I had not gone or posted on that page in years. I tend to just use my personal page. I had the business page, but even when I was running it more full time, I wasn't even posting on there. But I kept getting these notifications. It happened like probably 10 times where Facebook was like, someone liked this, you've had this many views this week. It just kept popping up. And then I had multiple people tell me, oh, you are such an amazing coach. The work you did was so great. You were so amazing on that. Multiple people had said this to me. I had a woman I never even knew watched or listened to my podcast say, I cannot wait for you to start talking again and sharing your voice, because what you said really, really helped me through some of my darkest times. So it's not someone I knew even listened to me. And so I felt like the universe kept tapping me, tapping me, tapping me. And sometimes the presentation of these signs is pretty hard to miss. Like you keep seeing them, you keep seeing them. If you doubt them for a second, it keeps showing up. And then other times, we get signs that are not as obvious. We've been asking for a sign, and maybe we had gotten some obvious signs, but we didn't really mark them as an obvious sign, or we could logic them away. But one of the things that I really realized distinctly recently was that sometimes the exhaustion is the sign. The fatigue is the sign. The feeling run down is the sign. The overwhelm is the sign. The frustration is the sign. Right? We often think exhaustion is exclusively related to how much sleep we're getting, the quality of sleep. Do we have a good sleep schedule? Did we drink caffeine too late in the day? You know, for women in perimenopause, what are our hormones doing right now? We often think it's exclusively related to that. But sleep is so much more than, exhaustion is so much more than the quality of sleep you have. And then you start to think, well, maybe I'm overworking, or maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I should be going to the gym, maybe I should be drinking more water, maybe I'm not eating enough. And sometimes exhaustion is maybe some of that, but exhaustion is the sign that you emotionally are exhausted, or that you are out of alignment with what you're doing. Maybe you're not overworking or undersleeping or undereating or not drinking enough and underhydrating. Maybe the life you have been living, the life you've been engaging with, is actually not aligned with you. It's not what you really want to do. It's the life itself is draining you, or the person that you're with is draining you, or the job that you're in is draining you. There's something that's not in alignment with the being of who you are. And the exhaustion is presenting because it's asking for you to pay attention. Sometimes we're waiting so desperately for a sign, like my bird, or like someone being like, you're so great at that. And sometimes those signs don't come. You just feel so depleted with the place that you're at. Beyond the depletion, right? There are just sometimes subtle signs for us. Sometimes we already know the truth. We are 100% sure of the truth, but if we acknowledge the truth, we then have to do something about it. If we acknowledge how terrible the job that we're in is, if we truly told ourselves the truth on it, then we would have to do something about it. We'd either have to fully accept it and say, I'm going to just keep doing this, or we'd have to make a change. And that's what we're scared of. Sometimes the change is the thing we are deeply, deeply scared of. Our truth is what we're running away from. So we go out there and we ask the universe or God for a sign and say, can you please just let me know that this isn't right, that I need to make a move? All the while we're exhausted and we know. I think that sometimes is the hardest pill to swallow, is that this whole time we always knew. We didn't need a sign. We wanted a sign, and maybe in the fact that we weren't given any sort of distinct sign was the lesson. That in absence of a very specific, obvious marker or direction, was us finding our power, was us recognizing that we do have free will. We do have the choice. we do have the options. We can move from power. We can make those decisions. Right? And then that's us facing us in our power. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to stop making excuses and step into that place of power? Say, yes, I'm willing to acknowledge that this is my truth. Yes, I'm willing to acknowledge that I've been lying to myself for days, weeks, months, years. And yes, I'm willing to make a change because I recognize that staying here and making a change will both hurt. That being here and not doing anything actually is hurting. It may feel quote unquote familiar or comfortable, but it's still hurting. It's still not actually great. So, this is my invitation to ask yourself, where have you been looking for signs where you already know the truth? Where have you been looking for a big green arrow saying go this way when you already have it? And are you ready to step into that state of being? Are you ready to make that declaration? Are you ready to actually move? Right? And this is where I invite reflections. I invite messages from people if they're in that space, but I also invite you to come into a container with me to take advantage. This is the last day I'm offering this $99 hour-long coaching session with me. Then it goes up to $199 as of tomorrow. After this evening, after midnight today, it's going to go up. Hop on a call, have a conversation. Tell me where you have been lying to yourself, and let's come up with a plan for how you're going to move forward, how you're going to step away from the exhaustion of not being true to yourself or being in alignment or being in a space where it feels like you're stuck. I'm going to leave it here today with that. And as always, I hope you have a beautiful evening. I will link the link for the hour-long coaching session below. And if this resonated with you or you think anybody would benefit from hearing this, please send it along. Much love.